So next up we have the Latvian Gambits. And here, if we, do something like this, they will go here. It's very annoying. Queen e2, queen e7. It's an annoying position. However, there's two ways you can deal with this, as I highlighted. I recommend the simple move d4. And here, not only do you not give them back a pawn, you don't even indulge in it. Like, you just completely decline it. You could, right? You could take this and then play something like, for an example, this and all this other stuff. And then eventually when they come for this pawn, you don't defend it. That is completely fine. It's an approach. And here you're actually even threatening something like this. They have to be careful. But they can play something like this. And okay, here you go after the pawn. This pawn, hopefully. Maybe play something like this. Try to take it out. Try to go for something like this. If they go for this, you just do not care. You just ignore it. That's the whole point. But also I will show you the declined. The thing I recommend is just d4. The point is, after takes, fine position. Just what can you just have the center. If they don't play knight out, you can really punish them with something like this. If they move, this is actually just checkmate. They go here, you go here, they go here. It's nasty. They actually can't go here because of the pawn. It's mate. But, they go here, they lose the rook. And you are completely winning. So they have to. They have to play this. And, now you can play this. It's a really just kind of nice move. You can also just play, bishop out, castles. Very good approach. Bishop e2 is an idea. And it's funny because this position is so good for white that the top engine move is to get kicked out and go back. And here, you can be actually just fine with this. Rotate, maybe the knight over, bishop out, knight out, castles, or c4. Now you have the center. Now if they repeat moves, you are, you get a little tempo, so you can defend like this or this. It does not matter. Does not matter. You're gonna castle and you have, look at the position. It's an amazing position. Completely sucks to play as black. Are they losing? No, but the position sucks. It's terrible. Next up, guys, we have the Tennisongambit. This is a really exciting one, actually. So the point of the Tennisongambit, this is the position, is if we were to defend the pawn. Now keep in mind, we're up a pawn, and as you guessed it, we're gonna return it to them. But first, let's say this happens. Okay, now the point is, they're gonna essentially let us trade, and they get a bunch of development. They get to be very aggressive, very active, and, a normal person, you can do something like this, and you have like an okay-ish position, but they get to be aggressive. Or, there's a trap. There's a famous trap, if you go here, where they just sacrifice the knight, and then they sacrifice the bishop, and they win your queen. And the position completely sucks. This is actually called the famous, the one and only intercontinental ballistic missile variation of the Tennisongambit, which has blown up in popularity, no pun intended. But okay, e5 should scream to you, or maybe even knight c6 followed by captures and e5. That's also fine, but no, e5. e5, they capture. Now we go f5, and we just get the center for ourselves, and already we have an amazing position. They have like two squares they can go. If they go, something like this, we'll cover it a little bit later, but notice the knight is just kind of sad. It doesn't make a big difference, but most people are not gonna play that. They're gonna go knight g3. Knight g3 is fine. And here, you know, normally, you know, you go bishop out, knight out, excuse me, castles, you know, something like bishop out. And the only thing to note is this bishop is very annoying. So you can either try to play queen out, bishop out to trade off the bishop, or maybe even queen up, bishop out, queen's head castles. However, in this position, a little bit bonus tip, what I recommend is bishop e6. And bishop e6 completely kills the prospect of this bishop breaching your position. There's only one downside of bishop e6, and that is it's gonna take you longer to castle. That is the single downside of playing bishop e6 in the opening. I personally think it's completely worth it. There's no immediate way for your opponent to really punish you for it, per se. You know, they can play something like c3 here. Very popular move when, okay, you try to, you know, block it. You fight for the center. If you were to play something like this, then this would, of course, be a bigger concern. But, you know, I mean, okay, here they will likely potentially sacrifice a pawn. If they do that, trade the queens, because with queens off the board, completely doesn't matter. You're absolutely fine, and you're even threatening some nasty things of your own. Something like this doesn't work. By the way, they have to probably play one of these moves to prevent the knight infiltration. And then, you know, you can even push your pawn later, mind you, or better yet, develop your position, and you are completely winning. The likelihood of this happening exactly as I described it is low, but I want to give you a sort of idea of the spirit of how you should maybe play the opening rather than anything else. And as promised, you know, if they go here, it's actually fine. Again, bishop e6, I recommend, personally. I really like the positions with bishop e6 from experience. You know, just preventing this bishop from coming. And if they somehow, let's say, manage to trade the bishop, just do it. Just trade the bishop, you don't care. The whole point is you want to castle. And this bishop prevents you from castling easily. And, you know, they can get a sort of like this good position. They're going to go here and here. Granted, by the time they go here and here, you're going to develop two more of your own pieces. And you're going to be very happy. So you both get just a good position and you play a normal game of chess, and that's about as good as it gets considering how aggressive they want to be. They want to force you on the back foot, they want to sacrifice material. Instead, you force them to play chess, and that's really more than you can ask. And in some positions, you're going to just get dominant positions because your opponent cannot do that.